Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the drinks and food that we have on this evening. Let me welcome to the stage Suzanne Ellingham, Sourcing Director for Hyve Group.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for coming to my party, although many of you might be wondering what is Sourcing Gift and why are we giving away free alcohol and food for you to come and hear about it. I'm Suzanne, I'm the Sourcing Director for Hyve Group, and it's quite an exciting time for us. I think many of us who have retail shops or supply into retail over the last few years have probably at one stage or another taken a really good look at the way we do business, at the way we present ourselves, and actually asked ourselves some questions about, are we doing what we want to do? So Source Home and Gift. So Source Home and Gift is the where ideas become products responsibly with transparency to meet the demand for better products that consumers want. Now you could ask yourself, do our shows do that already? You know, if we would like to hope that they do. But when we went and we started looking at how we connect global manufacturers and global brands to retailers in the UK, you know, we would have to answer quite honestly and say there are certain things that potentially we could do better to make product supply more transparent and more responsible from connecting manufacturers to brands. So what we did when we started reflecting on this is we went and asked people what they wanted, and we did a lot of research. And what became clear is retail over the last few years has gone through a lot of transformation. So this is a report that McKinsey published back end of December, surveying around about 2,000 chief procurement officers from some of the biggest retailers in Europe. And ultimately what they said is 92% of them are transforming their material sourcing, and 93% of them are transforming their supply partnerships. So what does that mean? It means pretty much every retailer, every major retailer in Europe is looking to de-risk their supply chain. They're looking at who supplies products, they're looking at how those are made, and they're looking at how they can make things more responsible. And this isn't something that they are thinking they're going to do in 3 years. These people also said, actually, this is my biggest priority for the next 12 to 18 months. So what we have at the moment is a really great moment in time where consumers are leading real change, and consumers and brands are wanting to transform the way they do things, and they're looking at options. Now, added to that, and this was research that was published by Facebook or Meta about 2 weeks ago, and they actually said that the global sustainability market is due to increase by 24% year on year for the next 6 or 7 years. They also said that consumers under 34 are leading that charge. So they will now pay up to 1.5 times more for a product that's made in a good way. Now, I think there is a perception from potentially retailers who are in their shops, and quite rightly so, bearing in mind cost of living crisis that's happening in the UK at the moment, that consumers will only pay the lowest possible price. And actually, I think we have a responsibility as a retail ecosystem to message the fact that better products made in responsible ways that were built to last cost a little bit more. And I think we do a great disservice to consumers by assuming that they don't think the same way. But it's very much a point of we're in a situation where retailers are transforming their supply chains, consumers are saying that they will spend more. And added to that, and this is a conversation with most of the buyers that we speak to, is nobody is traveling as much as they used to source great products. It used to be, you know, the buying team from some of the biggest retailers in the UK would be out in China for 6 weeks at a time, or they would be out for a month at a time, and they just don't travel like that anymore. So what we have an opportunity to do is take a look at the way that we manage our show and how we present manufacturers to retailers in order to make better connections between people who make things in the right way. So who did we speak to? We spoke to a few people. So most of the companies that you see in here are not only directly on our advisory board leading Source Home and Gift, but are actively telling us what they want from us as a sourcing show. And not just Spring and Autumn Fair, but specifically how we bring manufacturers together. And they gave us some interesting feedback, not only about how we work as a show, but what they wanted. And it came through loud and clear. One of the reasons, and I wouldn't say excuses, but one of the reasons that they put forward that they don't work with more responsible manufacturers, or that it takes longer to bring those people on stream, is it's incredibly hard to find them. They also said that they want to see newness, they want to see things they haven't seen, they want to be inspired, they want to work with fewer manufacturers but in better ways. They want to show for them. So with some of our biggest buyers, they don't feel that there is a peer-to-peer community for them at the show. So that's not just the heads of buyers, it's the heads of procurement and the heads of sustainability. There isn't a place for those people to come together. And what they reiterated is what we're seeing in the press and what we're seeing in research, which is actually they are looking for new partners and they are looking to transform the way they do their business. So from our side, what we did is we went a little bit back to the drawing board. We have some fantastic propositions in terms of design and source, where we already bring manufacturers together, but we thought actually, moving forward, we can work in a better way. So this is Source Home and Gift, and then I'll tell you a little bit afterwards about what we're doing. So what are we doing? So for our manufacturing shows as of February and then Autumn Fair in September, we're going to be building a separate show that is going to live alongside Spring and Autumn Fair called Source Home and Gift. And we are going to pride ourselves on connecting global manufacturers who manufacture in a responsible way with brands and retailers that want to produce better products. And I double down on that word responsible. We use sustainable a lot. Sustainability can mean many different things to many different people, but for most people it means they think about what goes physically into that product. We're using the phrase responsible because it's not just about what goes into the product, it's how it's made. And what we know from our buying community and from our advisory board is that matters just as much. So from our side, we're going to bring together an entire ecosystem of manufacturers who are audited, who are responsible, and that's one of our key values. So it's about beautiful products made in the right way, sold at the right price points that will be sold in stores. It's about championing our environmental credentials and those manufacturers who people want to work with. It's about inspiration. So again, manufacturers can produce anything, and as you walk around Design and Source, you'll see manufacturers who are really presenting a small fraction of their capabilities. So it's about sparking inspiration so you have conversations and create your own products with our manufacturers. And it's about creating connections. So it's about bringing people together, like-minded buyers and manufacturers, to co-create products. And part of how we're going to make that work, so the first one is geographical diversity. So we're aiming at 15 regions for Source Home and Gift in February. Every manufacturer to be audited, and to that end, you will have seen SEDEX. So SEDEX are a formal partner with us, and there's somebody that we're going to promote to our manufacturers to make sure that when buyers walk through the door, they can work with anyone in the show. It's about advocacy. So we want to host discussions around actually how we push this conversation forward, how we create better manufacturing processes and better products. We will have a buyer concierge program. So for our key buyers who want that help, who come to us and say, we're looking for these products, can you help us? We'll make those recommendations and we'll set them up with credible manufacturers they can really work with. And again, it's creating connections where people meet. But the main thing for us is that when we look at the platforms that we hold, we have an incredible position within our marketplace to build a better platform which fuels retail in a different way. So To give you a bit of a hint, so for Spring Fair, we are in Hall 5 and we're taking up a big chunk of it. But you'll see fundamentally we'll have our own content all geared around 3 fundamental factors: innovation in sustainability, innovation in process and new ideas, and innovation in materials. So we want to show you the different types of materials that are coming through from all over the world. So we will be calling for content and asking actively for ideas from partners, our advisory board, our buyers. We want to make this industry-leading content where we advocate for change. And obviously, when we move into Autumn Fair, you'll see we have growth. And I think the most encouraging thing about all of the conversations that me and my team have been having with the governments that we're working with is they've all bought into this. They all are happy to send audited, good quality manufacturers if it means they can do business with us. So the response from the global partners that we're working with has been incredibly positive. So before I go on for too much longer, and we need to get back to food and drinks, if you want to get involved, so I'm here, please talk to us. We'd love to hear your ideas. I have Michael and Pietro, and we have Toby, who's my marketing manager, who put together this beautiful brand and that video. So please talk to us. Get in touch with us after the show. If you have partners or suggestions or people that you think we should be working with, then tell us. We like to think we know everyone, but we don't. Obviously, visit the show, and if you're interested in getting involved, let me know. But thank you so much for listening to me for a few minutes. We're incredibly excited about the show launch. We think it's a very positive step forward for how we create a platform that meaningfully connects people. But thank you.